回れ回れ回れ見つくるま回れ回ってお日さん呼んでこい回ってお日さん呼んでこい
Vernier Scalper.
Willkommen auf meinem YouTube-Kanal, ich bin Vernier Scalper. The Tale of the Princess Kaguya. And I am actually very happy. Well, I'm actually very heartbroken. That song, bruh, we will get to it, okay? We will get to it, but this film, this is how we should start all the films from now on. This film, it is so good. You know, the past few Ghibli films have been quite polarizing, mid, leaving much to be desired, okay? But this one has really restored the faith. It is reminding me of the Ghibli that I love. Oh, the art. Shall we just start with the art? It is so beautiful. Oh my god. It is reminding me of Only Yesterday. And it only made sense that the art style and the story and the fact that it is directed by Isao Takahata. This is his last film. Isao, this is his last film. Okay? And from what I know, this wasn't supposed to be like a retirement film. You know what I have to say about the retirement film. The Wind Rises. I wasn't very happy with that one, but this... Oh, he has strike again. He's drag again. Okay, this is okay, it is fantasy, but it's not exactly like crazy whimsical like pompoko where it's hard to swallow and everything. It is like a folklore, okay? We're back to the Japanese folklore, and you know, some of you might be familiar with the Chang'e, okay, the tale of the moon princess or moon goddess. Is she a goddess or princess? But yeah, Chang'e. Okay, in the mooncake, the lunar festival, the mooncake festival, the mid-autumn festival. Some of you might be very familiar with the moon. Okay, the moon is a symbolism in lots of Eastern folklore. Okay, moon goddess, anything that is associated with the moon. Okay, this is a familiar tale. Familiar type of thing, you know, the immortal, the celestial being comes down to earth, but ultimately has to return. Ultimately is reminded that they're not human, okay? They're not human. And that immortals, they cannot enjoy these mortal experiences. They are not supposed to be having sex, okay? They're not supposed to be zucking and fucking. You're not supposed to be living lavishly, you know, eating all these hedonistic things, okay? These human experiences, these human luxuries, privileges. It is not, okay? You're not supposed to fall in love even, a lot of times. It's not the thing that they're allowed to do. They're basically like prudes, right? They're prudes. They must be virgins. Well, there are some gods, you know, gods and deities that are kind of like fucking zuchun. Well, I think it's very different when you compare it to the Western gods and goddesses. It's a very different dynamic, very different values and stuff. But, you know, at least the things that I got up with, okay, a lot of times they're supposed to be like celibate. They're supposed to be Oh, and they're supposed to behave themselves. And a lot of these heavenly rules you're not supposed to break. So I was very excited. Okay? We're getting into the folklore, and the art style is very much of, reminiscent of that Japanese, like, what do they call it, monogatari? Yeah, I did some research. I could see the art on the scrolls, painting. Then lots of the negative space, use of negative space. Oh, it is so good. And on top of that, the animation. I think that one of the most magical things about seeing an art style like this, an Eastern art style like this, is to see it animated, right? Because we have all this history, all this documented history, where you see the artifacts of the past, like how people used to draw, how people used to paint and tell stories through the art. But we're getting inspired by that, and now we're throwing in the animation aspect, this modern aspect. Oh, it is so good. The art is this one strand of hair. Now shall we get to the story? Okay, shall we get to the story? I was told by my friend, okay, I mentioned briefly in the previous video, I was told by my friend that it's depressing. Okay? A lot of these folktales are depressing. Okay? They're dark, depressing, pessimistic, gloomy. Sometimes they're anti-human, okay? They're anti-mortal. So I kind of expected that, okay, this is just going to be, it might be a little happy and rainbow at the start, but it is going to go downhill. It's going to go downhill, okay? It is not going to... something bad is going to happen. I don't think that it would be super dark. It's GHIBLI. It's still a GHIBLI film. I don't think that it is going to delve into some, like, kind of thing. I'll mention later. But this is not going to end well. Like, to begin with, Kaguya, right? Kaguya is not supposed to be here. She's not supposed to be amongst the humans. This might have been some mistake in the paperwork. She's not supposed to be here. Mr. Man was never supposed to have found her and brought her home, but here we are, right? So that is already a thing. That is already like the context, like this is, everything will have to be undone. Everything will have to be reversed. She will have to go back. And it is going to be sad. So I don't think that there is really a plot twist, or you should be going in expecting a plot twist. I think it's quite, we know what is going to happen. So it is more about the journey there, right? This is about the experience. This is about the friends that we made along the way. The humans. It is very classic. It is already very classic because I read that there are themes of feminism. Okay, I read the themes of feminism, themes of nepotism based on the Wikipedia. When I was checking the runtime, I previously thought that it was 180 minutes when actually it's 30, not 80. Stupid fuck. Why would it be 3 hours? Oh my god, I really thought that it was 3 hours and I was like kind of dreading it, but and it is very classic. It is already starting very classic. It is the man, who finds this mysterious object, potentially cursed object, and he brings it home. Of course he brings it home. He can't just leave it. Men and their discovery, exploration, like when they find something they have to bring it back, like even though it is very much this artifact, this doll is acting really weird with the light and this mystical force. Why did he bring it home? Oh my god. Okay, so he brought it home, and of course it is the woman's touch, the woman's affection, the woman's touch that turns this thing into a child. This tiny little girl turns into a child, to a baby. And the baby starts growing very quickly. Like, really, it is like time dilation. It is sci-fi. It is like time dilation. She's speed growing, okay? She's like speed running the puberty process. The fucking boys. Okay, the boys, I had a fear. I am like, oh no. It better not go the direction where it gets really dark and they become her enemies or they become her. I hope it's not that. Yeah, and thank God it's not that because it's Studio Ghibli. Okay, she's not going to get assaulted by the men who used to be her childhood friends. Now, one of the guys though, the one that is a bit older. The love interest. Oh, we knew he was going to be the love interest. As she is like maturing, you know, she's growing. She's becoming a full-grown woman. The scene where she falls and he catches her. You know, she lands on him. I was like, oh, that is Boner City. That is Boner City. Like, he's trying to play it cool. Oh, that is so man. Like, the whole arm is just bruised up and he's like, a little spit will do. What do you think this is? You think this is anal? A little spit will do? Who the fuck are you kidding? This is not butt sex. This is not even vaginal sex. You better put some gauze, some bandage. She's like, oh hell no. She nursed the wound for him, you know, because she's the woman. She has to be like, you know, the caregiver. Because men can't fucking take care of themselves. Men are so incapable. They use spit. When he really should be, oh, this is so stupid. I could just go on and on about this scene, but he was getting better. Even if the hand, even if the arm were to be amputated, something's still standing strong. Kaguya, you are growing very fast. Something else is growing fast as well. Okay, we have this is, you see, this is what happens when we get these types of situationals. I just get so carried away in the horniness of it. No, but really, though, the way she landed on him, Boner City. You know what the most feminist thing about this moment is that she got him pregnant. Oh! She planted the seed in the man. But the boys, I was just praying that they don't become perverts later. Because I know that there is going to be a lot of pervertry that's about to happen in this film. A woman, a beautiful woman, that is maturing so quickly and thrown, you know, like thrusted into this dirty world, the dirty man. Oh, I know some pervertry was going to happen. There was that one scene where the old guy was describing to the princess, you know, the 5 princes that will like try to get her to marry them. The old guy describing how his body was shaking, describing the bodily experience that he felt when he was in the presence of Kaguya. Oh, she was like his Viagra in that moment. That was so disgusting. She was the Viagra. She's not Princess Kaguya. She, in that moment, she's Princess Viagra. Like, she got that old fucker, that old pervert shaking. She got him like creaming in his shorts. She got that thing standing up. And very early in the film, that is already losing the plot. Okay, that is already losing the plot because the whole story, right, is Dad finds those magical gold pieces, those gold nuggets, and he's using it to fund her royal life that she did not even choose for herself. They're imposing it on her because they want her to have a good life. This is what heaven wants. You know, at least that is what he thinks. That is what heaven wants for the girls. So he's doing all of this shit. But he's really losing the plot. What happened to just loving your daughter? What happened to just cherishing what you have in the moment? This family. I was also thinking, what if mom is infertile this whole time? What if she's infertile? And this is the only daughter that she'll ever have. You know? And dad is just... Oh my god, and that is just ruining everything. You know, at the start of the film, it was still really sweet. You're spending time in the countryside house, living very humbly. Okay, but even then, Dad was already starting to get on my nerves. Because he said, come here, come to Dad, come here, come to Dad, come. Oh my god. Chill. You need to chill, okay, old man. You need to fucking chill. Like, she's not going to she's not going to run away, okay? Oh my god. I was getting so annoyed. Because those kids were calling her a bamboo, like kakinoko. Okay? And she's like, no, she's Hime. She's Hime. She's Hime. He was so adamant and possessive. I think that is the word. Possessive, because it's treating her like an object. The entire movie, and this is when the feminism of it all really sets in. Okay, the entire film. It is about how the woman is treated like an object. And the irony of it all. Okay, the irony of it all. Because at the beginning, Dad is able to recognize that this is a gift from heaven. This is a gift from God, okay? She is a gift that is bestowed upon them, and that is why I started to think that perhaps mom is infertile or dad is infertile. Let's not blame everything on the woman, okay? Let's not put all the guilt on the woman. Maybe dad's pecker does not work anymore. Okay, or maybe the sperm count 没有了，废了，明白吗？ Maybe. So this is really like they could acknowledge that this is a gift, and that itself is a bit of an objectification, right? Because it's not just a gift; it's a child. It's now a child. It's now a person, but they so quickly, as she becomes older, as quick as she became older, they so quickly turned her into a prize for another man. A treasure for another man. For a stranger. Let's just call it like it is. It is not just a man, it's a stranger. These strangers, they're not even like city people. They came from the fucking country bumpkin side, okay? The countryside. They know nothing. They have no real relations. It is all superficial. And even if they were in the city, it would still be superficial. Right? Because that is a very superficial tradition of the past. Marry the daughter away to a man that you barely know. Okay, all you have is hearsay. You have to trust, and there is this whole idea of marriage and man. Okay, having marriage and man to the woman equals happiness. Equals to happiness. It is very sad. And another thing, when it comes to, you know, the feminism of it all, of this film, it is the name. At the very beginning, we already have the tug of war, okay? He wants her to be called Hime. The kids are calling her Kakinoko. But now, all of that is no matter anymore, because now they're getting this person to name her, to give her an honorable, noble name, and to have her married away. It is like her identity was created by these people, and now they're giving her away. They're throwing her identity away and giving her some new fucking name, and now she's going to be Kakigiri. Now she's just going to be this new, like, which film was it previously that I discussed about the idea of the name? Oh god, I can't remember. There's so many. Was it Mononoke? Or was it... No. It was Spirited Away, right? Because Spirited Away, Chihiro became San. And we had that whole thing about the identity, how the name carries a lot of significance in the person's identity. And this is the same. It is again, because she's just an object to these people. And Dad is just slipping away the entire time. Oh, this really is like the most fuck the dad movie ever. There have been some disappointing dads in the Ghibliverse. Okay? There have been many. And there have been lots of very mid and boring, not very, don't really leave an impression type of that in the Ghibliverse. But this film, the one in this film, I got so sick of him at one point, especially with his stupid royal cosplay. Oh, but the head. I wanted to knock that fucking head off the head. I wanted to knock the fucking head out of his stupid head. And I like how the way that Ghibli makes slimy characters really is just to make them literally slimy. Like, they look slimy. They look amphibian again. Very Spirited Away. It's amphibian, it's the catfish whiskers, it's the bubbly, like, jiggly bodies. And it is no coincidence that the dad falls into that category of body type. It is intentional. It is intentional. He's disgusting. He's slimy. And it was only towards the end when she breaks down because she realizes that she has to go back to the moon. He's like, make it make sense. Say words that make sense. Like, what the fuck do you know exactly what she's talking about? How the fuck did you forget that you literally picked her from a bamboo shoot or something? Like you got her from the fucking bamboo forest. Like, she was a tiny little mystical object. Why are you that confused? And the fact that he really thought that he could use money. Oh, perhaps that is also like a commentary, right? He really thought he could use money, all this money, like the money that he got from the bamboo. Does he forget that the money is also from, just like the daughter herself? The money was never his to begin with. What makes him think that the money will help him, like, stop her from getting returned to the it is so stupid. I fucking hate him. This really is the most fuck man, fuck that Ghibli movie ever. Like, this film, really, it is just like, fuck the dad, like, really, just, and mom is just like the only sane one. Mom is like the one that comforts Kaguya. She's always the one who's in the house with her. They had a very, very beautiful moment when Kaguya showed mom the little tiny... Is it accurate to say that it's almost reminiscent of a Zen garden? The tiny miniature garden that looks like the house is tiny. Like she was showing the garden and they were having this intimate moment, mother, daughter, and dad had to rush into the house to ruin everything by saying that, oh, the one of the princes have found the object and he's here to take you away, and he's even planning to get the dad is even planning to get the what do you call it, the bride the bedroom. I am so mad. I don't even remember what it is called, but you know, like the bedroom where the newlyweds will consummate their marriage. Oh, that was so fucking disgusting. Another thing we should totally note about Kaguya is that she is smart. She is not just some dumb broad, okay? She is not an airhead. She is not like useless. She's not freeloader, okay? She's educated. She helps her parents, especially in regards to the scenes of the princess coming with the items that they promised to bring to Kaguya that will make her consider marrying them, okay? Because they talk a lot of shit, you know, they talk a lot of shit, they talk big with no action. She's like, okay, you compare me to all these rare, like ultra rare items that probably don't even exist or are very unobtainable. I want you to obtain these items for me, okay? Obtain it and then I will, yeah. But she has a lot of wisdom, right? She's smart, she has wisdom. Smart in the sense that she knows she can outwit some of these people, okay? Like, you tell me about the dragon even exists, right? The dragon even dead. And what was that thing? The branch with the jewels. Oh, that was so stupid. That was so stupid. He clearly got some craftsman to make that stupid gaudy thing, and he exposed him. Or the guy who wanted to bring the fireproof, the fire rat fur. Does he not think that they would try, like they would test it in an actual fire to see if it's actually from the back of a fire rat? That is so stupid. Men are so fucking stupid. Men are so fucking stupid. And it is also wise because she is able to really tell who they are as people based on the way they behave, based on the way they act, based on the way they lie. Oh, but she almost got persuaded. And this is very scary because one of the men, the better looking one, he was promising her all these things of, we will get away from the city. We will go to the... He must have done his research. I was thinking to myself, yes, he's hitting all like the marks, okay? He's getting the lines right. He's saying stuff that sounds very genuine, but you can never be sure with men, right? He might have done his research. He might have figured out that she's from the countryside and he wants to dig into that vulnerability. But with some help of her, how do we put this nicely? Another woman, let's just say another woman with a face. He gets exposed for being superficial because nowadays they got an ugly woman, okay? So like this ugly woman, I'm sorry, okay, you gotta say it like it is. They got this ugly, unattractive woman to come and pretend to be Princess Kaguya, so such that when he lifts up the curtain and he sees her, he's so shocked and mortified and horrified, really. And he's like, he's not going to marry that woman. He's not going to fuck that woman. Just like how Hal is not going to fuck Granny Sophie. It's not happening. He clearly had a fantasy. But I guess the more important part is that it is through this interaction that Kaguya can really see him for what he is. Right? So you're telling me that what if one day Kaguya become ugly, you're not going to love me anymore, you're not going to me anymore? Is that what this is what your actions are saying? Actions speak louder than words. And not them clocking him so hard, being like, how many flowers have you picked and thrown away, leaving them to shave their heads in despair and become nuns? Oh, they clocked him so freaking hard. Like, you really thought you could come here acting like humble and sincere? Oh, waving around this flower for Kaguya. How many flowers have you picked? Bruh. So that whole process, okay, of hazing the men, testing the men, was really powerful. Oh. But the one time that Kaguya, because when it came to the princess, Kaguya had the upper hand, right? She was behind the curtain. She had the upper hand. She had power. I mean, she had the wits. That is power as well, but she had the power to be like, disperse, come back when you have what I want. Oh, but when it came to your majesty, she couldn't just faffle around. In fact, he threw himself on her. That was very disturbing. And she felt violated afterwards. Oh, you know, this could be way darker. If this were not a Ghibli film, you know what this was meant to be. This is just like a vanilla, like family-friendly version of what could have happened. You know, if she said no. If she said no, you know what would happen. Starts with an R, ends with an E. Ugh, that is so disgusting. And his pointy chin. Oh, God. Oh, God. She's an object. Throughout this entire film, that is what the men treat her. It is only at the beginning where we have these other boys, and of course the supposed, he was supposed to be the love interest. They were the only people that treated her nicely, treated her like a person. Well, you could argue that the boys are a bit annoying, but they were kids. She was treated like a person. And I just thought of another poignant moment. It was a very tiny moment. Okay, it's a very tiny moment. When she wanted to leave the palace to look at the cherry blossoms. And she saw a reminder of who she really is or what she's meant to be. Or rather, the past, the family. Because she saw this pauper woman with her children and they ran off. Because it is the whole social hierarchy, situational, right? The poors, they see the rich, the royals, and they're like, oh, sorry. Like, it is almost like a sin, it's almost like a sin. Like the earth will shatter if they're in the presence of each other. They can't be in the same space, so the poor people have to leave. It was very sad, but it was a very powerful scene. It reminded her, it grounded her. And this is not what she wanted to be. This is not what she wants to be. She does not want to be this like royal, like the entire process. And I've seen a lot of these period dramas, period films, especially of the Eastern context. It is very sad. And it is a very, oppressive, misogynistic world, right? This is always the woman, like in this archetype of the female royal, okay? She's always like caged away. She does not have interaction. The only interactions she really has is the servant and the mom, and sometimes not even the mom. Sometimes the parents are very distant as well, because they always have to speak in like that very poised and royal manner where there is not a lot of vulnerability and real emotion. So she ends up being close to the servant. That is always the archetype. And it is very depressing. She does not have real male friends as well. So there is that disconnect from the other sex. Oh, it is so oppressive. Like that entire montage of them trying to get her to learn how to be a royal. Again, it is not a new sensation. It is a trope. Okay, troperies. It is a trope. We know this trope. You force the person, but really the bigger picture is that you're forcing this person to become an image. You're forcing the person into this box. You're forcing the person to become this thing that will then be used to fulfill something. And all of that, the price to pay for all of that is to sacrifice the identity. Okay, now the scene where she reveals, okay, Kaguya reveals to the parents that she has to go back. They're coming to get her. They're coming to take her home. And she's not gonna remember anything. And Dad is being annoying. I noticed that everything that the dad said was just I, me. I get that you remember. I'm so mad. I get that you're remembering the moments, okay, the memories that you've shared with your daughter. But everything was just, I remember when I found you. I remember when I brought you home. I remember, like, shut up. Shut up. Now, the dream that the guy had, okay, the love of her life that never came to be, because he has a wife and kid now. He has his dream as he's out in the outskirts, in the countryside. It was very beautiful animation. Flying in the sky with Kaguya. He basically had the wet dream. Oh, he basically had the wet dream. He dry humped her. He dry humped her while having a wife and kid. It is sad, okay? It is sad. I know it's sad. I'm joking, but it is sad. And speaking of animations, I know I'm a bit all over the place today, but I'm very passionate about this film. So I'm not going the chronological order from my notes, as I usually do. One of the very impactful scenes was that first time that she left the palace alone. She dashed out of the palace after hearing those perverted comments from the perverts, the old perverts. And she dashed out. Oh, that scene. I think that scene is one of the most impactful scenes in the film. Because a lot of the film is very pastoral, it's very pretty, it's very, like, serene, and, like, the colors and stuff. That scene, that sequence of her running and leaving behind all those different robes that she's supposed to don. Oh, it is very symbolic as well. It is like she's rejecting, she's like rejecting like this life, rejecting all these faces and smiles and behavior and things that she's supposed to put on. And it is like the only moment in the film where the art becomes really jagged and gritty and dark and like, like blurry and lots of movement is the only time in the film that we really get that image. And it is very powerful in that sense, right? The one final thing that I want to talk about, a very powerful thing, is, you know, the ma wa de ma wa de na na, that very fun folky children song thing that they have sung throughout the film. I think that it is very impactful that the humans, when they sing that song, from the very beginning, you know, the kids, they sing that song, but when Kaguya sings that same song, it is in a different melody. It is kind of the same, but she goes up, you know, like the notes, like they go up differently, and it almost sounds a little bit more like mystical, and I think that it is very intentional. But I learned that the song is written by Takahata as well. Bruh, my respect for him is just like increasing, okay? Knowing that he wrote that song, that is very, like, wow. And wasn't there the scene where she was singing the song to the mom and the mom did not know that there was this other verse? That song, I love that song so much from the very moment that it started. And I love the variation that Kaguya sings. But by the end of the film, I can't sing that song the same way anymore. I just think of how sad the entire tale is. It is so sad. At the start, it was like always a cute, like, you know, songs that you sing as a child. It's very like sing along and lighthearted and stuff. But now that I've seen the entire film, I cried. I cried at the end. And this is the thing. It is not, again, it is not like some very dense story, complicated plot twist. It's a folk tale. We know where it's going. We know that it's not going to end happily. But seeing the parents, even the dad, you know, I'm sure that you can see the guilt, okay? Like, I'm sure that felt really, he is asking for forgiveness. Even after they take Kaguya away and they're embracing each other, you know, mom and dad embracing each other, he was still asking for forgiveness. Oh my god, when they started to cry, I cried. They didn't want to let her go. It was so sad. Oh my god. I was like full out, like, no! Oh. This was a very good film. A very much needed good film after the previous The Wind Rises. I'm so sorry, Miyazaki. I'm sure Boy and the Heron is way better than Wind Rises, but again, I'm happy that he made it, and I'm sure he's happy that he made it. He doesn't give a fuck about what anybody thinks. Okay, so just leave that in the past. But Princess Kaguya, I would totally recommend this to people, especially if you like the folklore. If you like this very whimsical art style that is simple and, you know, very reminiscent of like those arts that you find in the scrolls and like the ancient, you know, like, you know, the whole thing, I would totally recommend this. I don't think that this is going to be in the top 3 because, let's be real, it is very competitive in the Ghibli-verse on who gets to be in the top 3. As in, like, top 3 favorite films of mine. I don't think that it would crack into the top 3 anytime soon. And the competition is fierce. But I would totally put, like, quality-wise, this is definitely up there. This is definitely up there in terms of quality. Highly recommend. And thank you, Isao Takahata, for all you have done. Okay? This is his last film, and he really ended on a good note, on a great note, and I salute him for that. This is a very beautiful piece of art. Thank you, and thank you for watching this video as well. Like and subscribe and do all of that, and I will see you in the next video, which will be when Marnie was here, or there, or where. I don't know where the fuck. Okay, I'll see you in the next video. Goodbye.